Alright, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Isana, and if you're new here, I want to say a big welcome. And if you haven't already subscribed, yes, I'm speaking to you now. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and click the subscribe button. I will give you just 1 second to do so, okay? 1 second. Alright, now that you have subscribed, welcome. I formally want to welcome you to the Just Beauty family. Now, I hope that you not only subscribe, but that you've also clicked the notification bell so that you, my dear, will be notified whenever I post a new video. Now, as you can tell from the title below, we will be discussing just a few tips or a few reasons why your hair might not be growing, okay? And without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Now I know that your time is very precious, so I won't delay. I will just get right into the tips that I will be sharing, or just the reasons. And just a disclaimer to get this out there. These are just my personal opinion, just stuff that I've noticed since I've started my hair care journey. Just stuff that I wasn't doing, and these affected the way my hair grow. I don't want anyone to think that I'm any hair specialist. No, I'm not. I'm just a regular person. These are things that I have realized over the few years that have prevented my hair from growing the way that I wanted. So tip number one, and sorry if I'm looking down, I have them all down on my phone so that I don't get off track. So tip number one would be that you're using the wrong products based on your hair porosity. Now I could say hair type, but yes, you might be using the wrong products based on your hair type, but I think it's more of porosity, because hair type is not something that stands alone. It normally goes with your hair porosity as well. So if you haven't already known, porosity of your hair basically means the ability of your hair to absorb moisture or water. I will be making a video on how you can test the porosity of your hair and to go in depth as to what exactly porosity is. But it basically determines how your hair can absorb moisture. So depending on your porosity, you might want to be using the product that will best suit your porosity, because low porosity means basically that your hair is dry because your hair lacks the ability to absorb moisture, and moisture that your hair needs to sustain any growth and to keep moisturized, because we all know dry hair just won't make it. No, that won't make it at all. So as it regards on the opposite, high porosity hair, we have with high porosity hair, that hair type, that hair porosity has the ability to absorb moisture, but because of the cuticles are open, the same way it can absorb moisture or let moisture in, it can also let out the moisture. So you want to be using products that are compatible with your hair porosity, and that is just tip number one. So the next tip here, sorry if I'm looking at my phone again. The next tip is you might be overusing products. Now we all want our hair to grow, so we think that if we wash our hair 4 times a week, it's gonna cut it. No. Once again, it comes back to the porosity of your hair, because if you're overusing products, you're basically just damaging your hair. It just like some products, if our body has too much, it's bad for us. It's the same thing with our hair. If our hair gets too much, it's just not good for our hair. So you can't have like low porosity hair and think that you can wash your hair like 4 times for the week. You know, when you wash or when you shampoo your hair, it normally removes moisture. So if you ever notice that after you wash your hair, unless you deep condition, your hair is dry. So if you just wash your hair and let it dry, have you ever noticed how dry that hair is? Imagine doing that 3 times for the week, like using products or overusing products, like using too much. So too much of one thing is basically what my grandma used to say, is good for nothing. So you don't want to be overusing products. You want to just let life flow. So use products with consistency, but you don't want to be overusing them. The next tip that I want to share, and I'm really sorry for looking at my phone, but I don't want to go off track. I don't want to keep you longer than you should. So the next product that I want to share is you're not consistent with your regimen. So what you want to do is, we all want our hair to grow, but consistency is key. You can't say you're starting a hair care regimen today and then you skip next week and then you skip the week after with some lame excuse. And I say lame excuse because guess what? Whenever something is important, we will find a time to do it. We like making money, and for those of you who have who go to work, will you knowing that you have to provide for your family, would you consistently skip work? No, you wouldn't find any excuse. It's the same thing. So with your hair, you want to be consistent. You don't want to be slacking out or cutting out or slacking, because at the end of the day, it's not gonna hurt me or your friend or anyone else who's on a hair care regimen. It's only gonna hurt you. So when 6 months run by and you're looking back and you're saying, oh shit, in 6 months, the 6 months that you took finding an excuse, your hair could be 3 inches taller, longer. Your hair could be thicker. Your edges could go back if you're on a hair care regimen because you don't have any edges. Whatever the case is, consistent, I will tell you, is key. So for those of you out there who like to find excuse, it doesn't make any sense. You start a hair care regimen, if you're not going to stay consistent to it, you're only going to waste your time. You'll only be wasting your time. I'm just going to get that out there. I will be as straightforward as possible. I won't beat around any bushes. You'll only be wasting your time. So if you know you're not going to be consistent, please save yourself the trouble. Just don't do it. So the next thing is, there isn't enough protein in your diet. Now, I'm not sure if you know already, but your hair, along with your skin and your nails, have a protein called keratin. It's what your hair needs to grow. So a big part of growing your hair is what you put in your body. So if you're not eating healthy, you're just eating whatever you want and your hair is not growing, then one of the reasons might be because you lack protein. Also a good thing, if your diet doesn't have a lot of protein, what you can also incorporate in your diet is liquid biotin. I have taken a liquid biotin at SBR Nutrition in the past. I will leave some information down below on that. I've taken it in the past, and because I've taken it in the past and I've had really good experience with it, I'm gonna be taking it again. So as soon as I've ordered it online, as soon as it comes, I will be doing a video on a review on that, so you can definitely look out for that as well. So I'll be basically giving my review on the SBR Nutrition biotin, because biotin is really good for your hair, not only your hair but your skin and your nails. It really did help my hair in terms of volume. I had really thin hair, but for the 2 months that I took it, it was really good. I didn't have any issues with it, and I'll definitely do a full review on that product so you can know exactly what to expect and not to expect, and what were my personal reviews on whether or not it's worth it, or if it's something that you should be incorporated in your regimen. So similar to earlier I mentioned overusing, you might be underusing products. So persons with low porosity hair, and all comes back to porosity. So persons with low porosity hair, their hair needs protein. So because their hair needs a lot of protein and stuff like that, when you're having your wash day or whatever within your regimen or whatever you call it, when that day comes where you nourish your hair, you aren't incorporating protein and stuff like that your hair needs, that might end up being really bad, because it's hard for low porosity hair to stay moisturized. And I'm not saying it's hard for low porosity hair to grow, but your hair needs protein, and it's just like and it needs specific deep conditioners that would open up your hair cuticle to allow the products in. And in underusing products, I will be making a video on what your hair needs in terms of deep conditioning based on your porosity. But underusing products is another thing. You can't have low porosity hair and you want your hair to grow and you're just using a shampoo and a conditioner. That won't cut it. Your hair needs deep conditioning. It needs warm oil treatment that will open up the cuticles to allow the oil to seep in. So you can't washing your hair and conditioning it just won't cut it. You need to be using the right products. So similar to how using too much products is bad, using less product is also bad. So you want to use a consistent amount. You don't want to use too much and you don't want to use too less. But a good just a shampoo, a good deep conditioner, and then a follow-up deep oil treatment, or that should be enough. Plus during the week, depending on if you have a protective style, you want to still try to see if you twice a week you can go ahead and do a warm oil treatment just to keep that hair moist, because leave-in protections or leave-in protective styling is good, but you know that sometimes your hair do get dry under that protective style, so you want to follow up with a warm oil treatment that would keep your hair moist while you're in your leave-in, sorry I keep saying leave-in protective styling, sorry. So so the next tip I want to share with you is also your hair might be in the resting stage. Now I did cosmetology in school, that's what we call it where I'm from, so I did that in school. It wasn't something that I was paying much attention to, but I did remember a few stuff. And your hair might be in the resting stage. So your hair resting phase. So your hair goes through a couple of phases. One of them is the anagen, which is the growing stage. There's collagen, but the one I want to speak about is the telogen, and that's the resting stage here. So with that, I did leave some notations on my make notations on my phone. Sorry if I'm looking at my phone, but I want to provide you with the exact information. I don't want to miss anything. So that the resting stage can last up to 100 days, which is can be equivalent or equal to 3 to 4 months. That at any given point due to stress, your hair can prematurely enter this stage, which means that your hair has a specific time to enter this stage. But if you're stressed or if you're under pressure, your hair might just go into that stage before. And as I said, it's 100 days, 3 to 4 months. But imagine if you keep getting stressed. I'm not saying you can permanently be in that state, but if you keep getting stressed, each time that 100 days is up, your body might put you back into that state. So your hair might in fact be in its resting stage due to stress, or because it's the time period for the resting stage. So you might start your hair regimen during the resting stage and saying, hey, it's been 2 months and I haven't noticed any changes. It might be because your hair is in the resting stage when you started your regimen. Another thing that I want to share as well is that there are a lot of factors that affect why your hair isn't growing. I'm not saying that these tips or these factors that I've just showed you is a must as to why your hair isn't growing. Sometimes just staying home and thinking or surmising to yourself or coming up with conclusions isn't enough. Sometimes we need to go visit a specialist, like a dermatologist or something, because if you start your hair care regimen and you're taking care of your hair, you're taking your biotin, your body has enough protein, you're using the right products, and you notice that your hair isn't growing, probably it isn't just a hair problem, as in say something wrong with your hair. It could be something from inside. So it's always good to always check to ensure that, to see what is the root cause as to why your hair isn't growing. So that was it, guys. If you have watched the video to the end, I want to say a big thank you for that. And if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I will greatly appreciate it. In the comment down below in the comment section, I want you to leave a factor why you think your hair might not be growing, and I also want to leave a motive, just something that you can think about daily whenever you're planning to start anything. Just remember, nothing will work unless you do. So if you're starting a hair care regimen, it will only work if you're working. All right, I just would like you to remember that. And you can also go ahead and follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Insta, like, yeah. So I leave my information down in the description box, and along with some other information. Let me I think I'm forgetting something. No, I'm not. Alright, so since that has been said, until next time, I want you to stay safe, stay healthy, stay fit, and I'll see you in another video. Thanks for watching.